50 days. Of course, everyone knows what that means. So on Disney here, we're going to talk more wrestling. Of course, this is Tuesday, so now we're going to discuss last night's edition of Monday Night Raw, live from Atlanta, Georgia. Bad Street, USA, Hot Atlanta, whatever you want to call it, that is where Raw took place last evening. And we're going to talk about a Raw edition, which actually was quite a step up from what we've been seeing the last several weeks. A lot of the stuff that gave me very much happiness that I was going to be missing 2 weeks of Raw. All this came back tonight, and if I would have missed this show, I probably wouldn't have been very happy. But we'll talk about that as we progress. So obviously 50 days means I go back to Orlando in 50 days, and obviously back to Disney, back to Universal, back for reunion, and to see all my friends, which is going to be amazing. And officially, yesterday, I started trip planning for 2015. So yeah, it's official, 2015. I will be going down on the 13th, and I will be coming back on the, let me make sure I got this right, yes, on the 28th. So the 13th to the 28th, this is obviously the big trip. This is the 25th anniversary of the first trip I ever took to Walt Disney World, and I wanted to do it big, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Disney World and Universal, obviously on this coast, hop on a plane after the opening weekend of Halloween Horror Nights, and then I'm going to, if everything works out with dates, going to attend Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood, and I will be staying at the Grand Californian with my DVC points to check out Disneyland California Adventure as well as Universal Hollywood. Get back on a plane and fly out back to Orlando to stay at Cabana Bay for the second week of Halloween Horror Nights. So yes, you're probably thinking, oh, and you're going to be severely jet lagged, and it really didn't affect me last time, but hopefully that is not the death knell of me saying that right now. Hopefully that won't happen now that I've said it out on camera. So obviously, we're going to talk a bit, and we're going to discuss everything. Now, I don't know what's going on for Wednesday or Thursday yet. I haven't talked to Ashley, so I don't know what's going on with his segment. I don't think it's on a sabbatical or anything. I do think that it's just things have been kind of busy with Ashley lately, so he's got his own, obviously he has his own podcast, so he has a lot of things on his plate. Will and Ben are busy, and AJ, of course, brings you guys a lot of great content every single week, so can't give him another segment, so it might end up being just a vlog, just me chatting about what's going on, or I do have video from Each to the Beat from Hanson, and as well as Hallow Wishes from Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party this year. Plus, I do need to check out Bound for Glory and Impact, get back into TNA, at least for the time being. There should be an announcement very soon. TNA getting another television contract, so that should be pretty cool. So, obviously, if you know me better than that by now, you probably understand that when I have to do recaps like this, when there's a lot of stuff, and I got 3 pages of notes, folks, right here, and good luck trying to read these things. I barely can on camera. So I've got me a energy drink, got me a Monster Punch. It is called Ballers Blend. I feel like I should be talking about Impact right now, because the other thing that comes to mind when I hear Ballers Blend is MVP. And what it tastes like, if you don't know, it is one of the dub editions. And this was picked up in a variety pack, which is not really a variety pack. There was only 2 kinds in it. So we had this and another kind. This to me tastes like carbonated fruit punch, and it is phenomenal. And these cans are the size of my precious Surge cans that I very soon will have, because as of yesterday, Surge is back on sale at Amazon for $14 a case. A far cry from the $98 that people are trying to scalp people for right now, trying to get Surge. That's how much this is important, and I would guarantee by the beginning of 2015, at the very latest, I think Surge is back in stores, without a doubt. If not, at least in the freestyle machines. I'd say at least in the freestyle machines, and if not further than that, I'd say in stores. That being said, let's talk about last night's edition of Monday Night Raw. Alright. Let's do this, shall we? So, of course, it's Atlanta, so backstage last night, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Diamond Dallas Page. And there were some notable celebrities as well. Nobody I really care for, but oh well. So the show starts off with Dean Ambrose. He comes out and of course, he's wearing his new t-shirt, which is WWE's version of his old Jon Moxley explicit violence t-shirt. Kudos WWE for taking an idea that was from the past and making it your own. It's going to appeal to the new age Ambrose fans, and it's going to appeal to the old school Jon Moxley fans. So I think that works pretty well. Great idea from the ad wizards of World Wrestling Entertainment for coming up with that idea. So Ambrose, of course, has a microphone, and he has this to say. He says, "Nothing I like more than to be locked in the Hell in the Cell with Seth Rollins, so I can brutalize him. I'm going to beat him so bad that he'll wish he never met me in the first place. But there's something in the way. Something that just keeps pissing me off, because that is the face of the WWE, and that is John Cena. I got to get through John Cena first in order to get my hands on Seth Rollins. It's clear the Authority want us to rip each other's heads off, tear each other apart, and that's part of the master plan to basically protect their golden boy. I'm going to rip that pole down during the contract on a pole match, and I'm going to beat John Cena in the head with it. And then I'm going to destroy Seth Rollins, and there is nothing anyone can do about it." Here comes John Cena. Of course, he takes offense to what is being said by Dean Ambrose right now, but he understands, because of course Ambrose has that fire, that intensity that he wants to see everyone have in WWE. He says, "Relax, Dean, you know what? This match is already made. It's 2 weeks out. Just take the 2 weeks, bide your time, get all your strategies in place, and then come out with both guns blazing. We both have a chance to get our hands on Seth Rollins, and we both, of course, will take that opportunity when it comes. So maybe tonight you walk out. Maybe tonight you don't. The clear thought process here is, Dean, you need to just shut up. Bide your time, take 2 weeks, get ready for the fight of your life, because I'm going to bring it to you like it's never been brought in before." Ambrose says, "Thanks, but I got some news for you. I've been ready for years." Cena, of course, has to turn it around on and says, "You know what? Your instability will ruin everything. You're going to realize that you're out of your league. You can't compete with me, Dean Ambrose. Pipe down and get ready." Here comes Triple H and Stephanie, of course, to interrupt the party. "Slow down. You got 2 weeks. Well, how about a tag team match tonight?" Triple H doesn't think that they can coexist. Stephanie's like, "Alright, it's all talk. They'll get it together when all the chips are down, obviously. They're too afraid to fight each other." So they make a bet, a standard bet, whatever that means, and they shake hands, and we're going to get a match with John Cena and Dean Ambrose teaming up against the WWE Tag Team Champions Goldust and Stardust, as well as Jimmy and Jey Uso, and that match is next. So that's how we kick off Raw, actually. A great interview segment to start off Raw. Okay, that's going a little too far. That's way too much hyperbole here. Here's the thing. It was an okay segment, and I like what they're doing with this. I like that they're planting the seeds for the fact that Ambrose and Cena are going to have to coexist, but obviously they don't like each other. And the master plan of the Authority to protect Seth Rollins at all costs is to make sure they rip each other's heads off and they don't even get to Hell in a Cell. That makes perfect sense to me. And I think that that's exactly what they're trying to do. And kick off Raw with an actual match? Well, that's exactly what happens. So we pick it up midway through the match. It is, of course, a chinlock applied by Stardust, and Jimmy Uso punches his way out and gets caught with a drop-down uppercut from Stardust and a backdrop. He puts him in the corner, tags in Goldust, and he yanks him back out of the corner for a 1 count because Jey Uso makes a save. So they work Jimmy over momentarily, a big right hand, 2 chops, Jimmy fights his way out of the corner. Boot in stops this. Drop down uppercut from Goldust is stopped this time by a right hand, straight right hand from Jimmy Uso. Stomp in, tag into Stardust. He starts stomping away on Jimmy, hits a snapmare, a spinal tap kick to the spine, and locks in a double chicken wing. Tags in Goldust and a right hand to Jimmy Uso. A big right hand just drops him like a sack of potatoes. Straight punch, whip in, and he forearms Stardust off the ring apron. Jimmy tags in, and that is stopped by Goldust, pulling Jay out to the floor. Ambrose clotheslines Goldust on the floor, and Stardust gets tagged in, and tag in to John Cena. So ducks the clothesline, shoulder block, proto bomb, 5-knuckle shuffle, AA. Stardust awkwardly lands on his feet somewhat, ducks the clothesline, and Goldust catches him with a Samoa Joe style power slam. Super kick to Goldust. We get a finishers galore. Samoan suicide dive on the World Tag Team Champions on the floor. Cena goes up top, and a plancha from Cena to everyone, but Ambrose, of course. Ambrose goes up top, and he basically dives in Hardy Boys style, elbow dropping everyone, kind of like a giant mosh pit. Ambrose used the entire contingent in this match as a giant mosh pit. Tosses Goldust in, tosses John Cena in, and a backdrop to Goldust. Stardust gets hit with the AA as Ambrose hits the double arm DDT on Goldust. Double pinfall, and the winners of the match were John Cena and Dean Ambrose, who coexisted when they needed to. Showed a little bit of not wanting to do anything, not wanting to work together as a team, but they did show that they worked together as a team very well. I'm kind of glad they didn't put the tag team titles on the line in this match, because the whole bitter enemies make better tag team partners storyline that we've had so many times throughout the years, I thought they might go that direction, but luckily they didn't. They did not make this a title match, thankfully. And Cena and Ambrose won anyway. So after the match is over, John Cena and Ambrose are kind of celebrating somewhat, but they're kind of awkwardly standing in the ring. Here comes Triple H and Stephanie, and Triple H, first one to say it. Stephanie was right, so I owe you $1. So pay Stephanie $1 bill right in the middle of everyone. Triple H does hate to lose, though, so maybe you need that spark to be ignited between you two. So you both want Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell? Well, why wait 2 weeks? Let's hang that contract up in the air, put a pole in the opposite corner, we get no holds barred, Dean Ambrose, John Cena, and only one man will walk out to face Seth Rollins in the cell. You will tear each other apart, and it will happen not what the internet said, which was next week. It actually happened on Raw last night, so it happens tonight. And hell will start for both of you this evening. So we get our main event announced at basically the top of the show. We're going to get John Cena and Dean Ambrose in a no-holds-barred contract on a pole match. Basically, this just allows for a stipulation that the Authority can get involved. That's basically exactly what the reason they did that. So we'll get to see that later on in the show. We get our next match. It is Divas Tag Team action. It is the Divas Champion AJ Lee teaming up with Layla. And the only reason Layla is teaming with AJ is because, of course, last week on Raw, AJ teamed with Emma, and that didn't work very well. AJ left Emma for dead. And then we get a Superstars-esque promo from AJ talking to Layla, says, I don't like any of the divas, but I dislike you the least. And awkwardly hugged Layla, and that's how we get this match. And, of course, they're facing off against the new friend tag team of Paige and Alicia Fox, who looks a lot better now actually working with Paige. They actually complement each other quite well. So AJ's about to make a tag midway through the match, and Layla pulls a Sid Vicious on Saturday Night's Main Event and drops off the ring apron, leaving AJ all alone. Foxy goes for the O'Connor roll. AJ holds on, and when Alicia Fox gets back up to her feet, she actually only gets to one knee, and AJ cleans her clock with a Shining Wizard and gets the 3 off of that. So after this is over, AJ goes to the outside and jumps Layla for leaving her for dead, or trying to attempt to do so, and drags her back to ringside and just whips her incessantly against the barricade on opposite sides of the ringside area. AJ grabs the championship and skips away to fight another day. It was okay for what it was. Basically furthering the storyline. AJ has no friends, and AJ and Paige are continuing their rivalry. What I think was going to happen eventually, AJ's going to have to bring someone in from the outside. There's 2 options I can see here. Number 1 being the return of Caitlyn. I think that's actually a good idea. Even just a one-shot on a Raw somewhere down the line, I think that's actually a good idea, and that's something that they should look into. Like, if they're going to be anywhere near Caitlyn's legitimate hometown, I think they should get a hold of her and get her to do a one-off and have her team up with AJ one last time to take it to Paige and Alicia Fox. The other option is basically teaming AJ with her idol, and yes, that means a one-night return for Lita, and I think that actually would be a good idea as well. Not many superstars on the current roster that actually could be believable as her tag team partner. The only person that I'm thinking right now that could work is if when they bring Charlotte up. I think that actually might work, but AJ really needs somebody unique to team with, and the only other option at this point is to bring Karma back, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but I've eaten my words before. I could again, who knows. Either way, it's going to make perfect sense, and we're leading towards AJ and Paige one more time at Hell in a Cell, perhaps in the cell itself. I don't know. This isn't Lockdown, so it's not every match in a cage, but it still should work pretty well, and I like the continuation of this feud the way that it's going right now. Triple H and Stephanie are in the back, and Randy Orton, of course, shows up because, what about me? What about Randy Orton? Well, before I destroy Dolph Ziggler tonight, let's get it straight. Seth Rollins says he's the future. Well, apparently the future is a long way off. And he talks about being in the spotlight. Well, he needs to stay out of my spotlight. Both John Cena and Dean Ambrose can beat Seth Rollins any day of the week. Fact remains, they can't beat me. I'll face the winner inside the cell. Actually, no, I'll face the loser inside the cell in this case. I had to read my writing wrong. So apparently what's going to happen is, after Triple H and Stephanie agree, the worst kept secret that has been on the internet pretty much all week is the fact that John Cena and Dean Ambrose would battle in a contract on a pole match. Winner face Seth Rollins in the cell at Hell in a Cell. Loser of the match face Randy Orton in a cell. So we get Randy Orton in Hell in a Cell against whomever loses the contract on a pole match, which main events this Raw. So we get our first hour main event, and our first hour main event is your current reigning and defending Intercontinental Champion Dolph Ziggler taking on Randy Orton with Cesaro in commentary, basically just to further the storyline with Dolph, which means Dolph and Cesaro are not done with each other yet, so I have zero issues with this. This match was really good, and I want to talk about it here. So there's a whip in, it gets reversed, Dolph goes shoulder first into the ring post, Orton goes to the snakebite DDT, and Dolph counters the backdrop, and Orton lands on the ring apron. Dolph drop kicks him so hard he lands off the ring apron hard to the floor. Rollins comes out. And we go to commercial. We come back to live action, and there is kind of like an inverted headlock applied on Dolph. So Dolph punches his way out, catches a right hand, goes for a drop kick, gets caught, and Randy Orton catapults Dolph to the top turnbuckle, face first, makes a cover 1-2, Dolph kicks out. So he puts him on the buckle, a big right hand, St. Louis uppercut, and he climbs up going for the Orton crest superplex. Dolph punches his way out, headbutts Orton down, not necessarily knocks him, bumps him back, he actually just knocks him off, slightly. So Orton headbutt, and he climbs up, and Dolph ends up knocking Orton off, and I thought we were going for the Z Factor here, but no, we would see that spot later on in the match. Orton crotches Dolph when he goes up top to try to dive. I'm guessing he was going for a flying body press, and he got caught, crotched up top. Orton climbs up, Orton crest superplex, 1-2, Dolph kicks out at 3. So a right hand and a boot in, and a big right hand at Dolph, and starts pounding away on the body. 4 right hands, and he gets stopped from Orton's boot. So any momentum Dolph has gets completely snuffed out like a flame by Randy Orton's boot straight to the midsection. But Dolph fires back. Clothesline, charging splash in the corner, reverse neck breaker, and nails the Heartstopper leaping elbow. 1-2, Orton kicks out. Goes for the super kick, and he gets caught, spun around, and Samoa Joe snap power slam. 1-2, Dolph kicks out. Goes for the snakebite DDT, connects, starts pounding the mat like a fool, goes for the RKO, gets countered with a roll-up, 1-2, and Orton kicks out. Sets up for the exclamation point DDT. Orton's seen this match before, he tosses him off, he lands on his feet, Dolph goes for the name dropper, and that's ducked by Orton. Orton gets caught with a super kick out of nowhere, 1-2, and Orton kicks out. Goes for the zigzag, Orton swats him off, ducks the clothesline, and finishing sequence is phenomenal here. Dolph goes for the name dropper. Orton transitions into a powerbomb, tosses him high in the air, nails the RKO. 1, 2, 3, and Randy Orton defeats the Intercontinental Champion in a non-title match. Tremendous finishing sequence after this. I really enjoyed the way this went into this. I love the transition here. The zigzag, swats off, ducks a clothesline, goes for the name dropper, gets caught. Instead of a powerbomb, he pops him up, hits the RKO on the way down. Orton's timing is perfect to a T. He is so precise when he hits these maneuvers. Just like how the Diamond Cutter could have came absolutely out of nowhere. Diamond Dallas Page obviously had to be smiling in the back watching this maneuver being hit with so much preciseness, just like Randy Orton does every single time. So many ways you could blow that spot if your timing was off just a tad. But no, Randy Orton consistently hits this out of nowhere, time in, time out, and it's phenomenal. To one of my favorite ones ever was when Evan Bourne went for the Shooting Star Press. He got caught with the RKO. I thought that was brilliant. And Shelton Benjamin just got caught with the RKO. That was also awesome. I'm telling you right now, this was a great way to transition into the finish. I really enjoyed it. After the match was over, Seth Rollins got in the ring, and Dolph was kind of getting up to his feet. He looks at his feet, and of course he curb stomps Dolph. Holds up the briefcase in Orton's face, is like, basically anything you can do, I can do better. Well, Randy Orton hit a pop-up RKO out of a powerbomb. And basically, Rollins only retorted with a curb stomp. Yeah. Advantage Randy Orton. Next match. We actually go into our next match. It is Seth Rollins, Mr. Money in the Bank, taking on Jack Swagger. And you know what? This match was really good as well. For those of you that have soured on Jack Swagger, and for those of you that don't believe Jack Swagger belongs in the company, watch this match. It's actually really good. Rollins heads up top. And basically, this is a really nice move here. They work the arm the entire match. Seth Rollins works the arm of Swagger the entire match. Basically, just working his arm time in, time out. And it all starts with this. So he goes up top, and of course Swagger goes up for his Kurt Angle style run-up belly-to-belly suplex. But he gets stopped because Rollins grabs the arm, yanks the arm across the top rope, and that just starts it. And he just completely unrelenting after this. So he yanks the arm, and he hits a flying arm bar, or a single arm DDT, depending on who's calling your match. And he steps on the elbow, and he ties his arm up in the ropes, and he starts kicking the arm, and he sends the arm into the buckle, and a hammer lock. He locks in a Bret Hart-style top wrist lock, and Swagger arm drags him out of it, charges in, and Rollins' charge is caught by a belly-to-belly suplex. He beels Rollins out of the corner, and goes for a Swagger bomb, but Rollins powders to the floor. Swagger outside to meet Rollins with a huge clothesline, sends him down, and sends him face first into the ring steps. A big right hand, tosses him in, and here comes Randy Orton down. Turnabout is fair play, right? So Rollins knocks Swagger off the apron, who got distracted by this, and a tope from Rollins on a Swagger. We go to commercial after this. We come back to live action. Right hand, right hand, right hand. Whip in. Rollins with a tip up. Ducks the clothesline. And leaping kick to the side of the head. Gets a 2 off of that. Charging forearm in the corner. And he starts stomping away. Repeated 3 knees to the ribs. He yanks the arm back for good measure. Locks in an arm bar and a boot in. Whip in reverse. Nice tip up again. But he gets caught in a waist lock, and no, it was not a German suplex, it was a wheelbarrow suplex, a snowplex, or an ocean cyclone suplex, depending on who's calling your match. Gets a 2.5 off of that. So really nice wheelbarrow ocean cyclone suplex from Jack Swagger. That was awesome there. He got a 2.5 off of that. Clothesline, whip in, and Rollins goes upside down in the corner, and he gets caught with a high elevation back body drop from Swagger. Swagger's got Rollins on the ropes, literally, and he hits the Swagger bomb, 1, 2, and a kick out. And he goes for the gut wrench power bomb, and of course that used to be his finisher. It's how he won the World Heavyweight Championship from Edge. And Rollins has the wherewithal to land on his feet, charges in, and he gets the boot up, goes up top, and he dives off into Swagger's arms, big takedown, 1-2, and a kick out from Rollins. So he comes off the ropes, does Swagger, and catches Rollins off guard completely with a diving clip to the knee, goes right to the Patriot Lock, and a front flip sends Swagger in the corner, but he puts the brakes on, stops in, ducks the clothesline, and really nice maneuver here. Roll up from Rollins right into Avada Kedavra, the Killing Curse. Good and nice shout out to his Tyler Black days. And no pinfall going for there. He goes for the curb stomp, and he gets countered into an ankle pick into the Patriot Lock. He's getting, and he gets the ropes just in the nick of time. So he tries to bring him back in the hard way, and just like you can't powerbomb Billy Kidman, you cannot bring Seth Rollins back in the hard way because, of course, he lands on his feet, gets tossed into the ring post. Swagger goes for the Ocean Cyclone again. It gets countered. Forward roll, hooks the tights, double-sided, 1, 2, 3, and Seth Rollins wins this. Really awesome match between these two, and I really like the finishing sequence. I like a lot of the maneuvers in this match. I like the chemistry that Swagger and Rollins had in this match. And the crowd was actually getting on Swagger's side, basically. And that was the good thing, because obviously the crowd hates Rollins. So anyone that goes against Seth Rollins is going to become public enemy number one, and that makes perfect sense. Well, this actually works really well, and this match worked really well as well. Well, since I said well, it's like 4,000 times there. It's like a drinking game. As a matter of fact, I'll imbibe non-alcoholic energy drinks for Sarah and Disney. So, of course, just like in the previous match, Randy Orton gets in the ring, RKO to Jack Swagger. Orton gets up in Rollins' face. They basically exchange their cookie recipes. I believe Scott Keith's the one that said that back in the day. I could be wrong. There's an internet writer that I remember reading back in the day when I was just a little wrestling fan. And they start trash talking, and eventually Rollins just kind of like, I had enough of this, and he bombs out. So yes, we are building and building and building to the eventual collision between Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, and the eventual and finally babyface turn for Randy Orton trying to fight the Authority by himself. I think that actually will be the final mission here. I think that we see John Cena and Randy Orton fighting the Authority themselves somewhere down the line. I'm not saying it's right, I'm saying it's probably what's going to happen. Say what you want about Randy Orton, but I think a babyface turn is probably something that's been needed for quite a while, and I think it'll work pretty well. It might freshen him up a little bit, which is a good thing, and we'll continue to see what happens with that. So Renee's in the back with her boyfriend, Dean Ambrose. Hey, it's the same thing. And Ambrose says, don't expect me to be a nice guy, because I'm not a nice guy. And you know what? Anytime, any place, anywhere, I will beat John Cena. I will be the one to put him in his place 2 weeks early. Apparently, we're on a highway to hell. And nice AC/DC reference, considering the fact that Ambrose uses a bulldog driver, a headlock driver, and he calls it Dirty Deeds. Obviously, he's a big fan of AC/DC. Makes perfect sense. He would use that. And we transition right to the face of Tom Phillips. And he's got the Big Show. And of course, this is setting up for the second hour main event, which is the Big Show and Rusev. And Big Show proved that Rusev had a glass jaw, and tonight he's going to shatter it. Okay. Sure. Alright. No offense to Mark Henry. I wonder what that means. Just because you say no offense doesn't mean there's offense at all. Go ahead and put this weight on my shoulders. I'll show what I learned in sensitivity training. Okay. Don't care about the Big Show. Haven't in a long time. Hope this is the end of this feud. Hope this transition to Big Show and Mark Henry. I'm pretty sure it's going to. Rusev and Big Show's up next. It is your main event for the second hour of Raw. Show basically throws Rusev around like he weighs like 10 pounds. And he finally gets stopped when Rusev catches him out of nowhere with a drop kick. So he starts stomping away. He short dive bombs the back. Big Show fights out with a gut shot, some body shots. Gets stopped by a double choke thrust to the throat. So Rusev sends Big Show over the top rope to the floor. We go to commercial. We come back to live action, and he's got a... Basically, the best way to put this is kind of like a side choke an underneath, like a Shinanamaki or a Cobra Clutch, like the arm is applied and he's like choking underneath like this. So it's kind of, I would say it's probably a judo choke or maybe a samba choke or a sambo choke. I don't remember I think it's samba. Yeah, I think so. Samba's dancing, I'm pretty sure. Like a judo or sambo style choke. Either way, it looked effective. And he went right to it, and Big Show punches the way out because it's the only thing you can do when your arms are trapped. And Rusev stops it with a knee strike and an avalanche to the back while he's in the corner. Front face lock, and it gets transitioned back into the same judo choke. So he punches his way out, and a headbutt, and Big Show goes to the middle rope as Rusev is sprawled out. Goes for an elbow, and he misses. Rusev transitions back into a front face lock. Back in the choke, and Big Show again punches his way out. And this time, instead of completely punches his way out, he slams Rusev. Ducks the WMD to the Muay Thai kick to the ribs instead of the face. Stomp, accolade, and here comes Mark Henry walking to ringside. Thinks about it for a second, gets on the ring apron, and Rusev ends up knocking Mark Henry off with a punch. Stomp, accolade, he's got it locked on the Big Show. He's about ready to give up. Mark Henry comes in, blindsides Rusev with a clothesline, referee calls for the bell. So officially Rusev wins by DQ. The Russian flag drops, and of course Rusev, to add insult to injury, is waving the Russian flag on the opposite side of the ring with Lana. Show and Henry corner Rusev on the floor, and Rusev smartly attacks Mark Henry, and he walks right into the WMD and lays Rusev out clean as a sheet on the floor. Big Show and Mark Henry kind of jaw-jack a little bit, but they end up kind of leaving peacefully. So yeah, we've set up the storyline with the Big Show and Mark Henry feuding down the line. Don't know who's face, who's heel. Don't really care at this point. That'd just be a feud that I really wouldn't care less about. I honestly think if you're going to have Rusev keep getting dropped by the Big Show, it's losing a little bit of credibility somewhat. Because even if Big Show is the one who beats Rusev, and I don't think that happens, I think someone else is definitely going to beat Rusev in the end. Rusev has to finally get over on the Big Show. And this could have happened. Obviously, Rusev won tonight, or last night in this case, but the thing about it is you have to look at it from this perspective. You have to understand that Rusev losing by count out, by DQ, that's fine. No problems. Interference, that's fine. Rusev cannot get pinned. Rusev cannot submit if they want to push this further. And it sounds like WWE wants to put Rusev in the ring with Cena before the year's over, and I think that'll probably happen around Survivor Series time if I had to put a timestamp on it. Given the fact we're in October, one more pay-per-view, I think that makes perfect sense. Since John Cena's got to face Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell, whoops, I got ahead of myself. So, Sheamus is in the back and talking about how much he hates The Miz, or Mizdow, or Miz and Mizdow, or the Miz's, or Mizzies, or Mizai, depending on how you want to call it. 2 Miz's are a bad thing, basically, and he's got a prescription, take 2 brogue kicks, call me in the morning. I didn't know Sheamus was a doctor, but apparently he plays one on TV. Next match, it is Sheamus against The Miz, and once again, Damien Sandow is Jerry Gold, by basically working the Invisible Man on the floor. I love this. This is method acting. I love this so much. I love Damien Sandow with The Miz, and once Sandow turns babyface on The Miz, he is going to become one of the most over babyfaces on the roster. Officially. Right now he is. But he's kind of only with about maybe a third, not quite a half of the crowd, maybe a third of the crowd right now. Maybe a little bit more depending on what city they're in at the point. But when this does happen, and Sandow finally gets tired of being the stunt double for The Miz, and decides he wants to let his fire out on his mentor, if you will, it's going to be fun, and I think it's going to be a nice little feud, and this will transition to Damien Sandow hopefully finally going back into the upper mid-card where he belongs after he has a nice little short run in the mid-card. Criminally underutilized Damien Sandow. I love what they're doing with him and The Miz right now. I think this works quite well. And obviously this was a match with the United States champion in Sheamus. So you pick it up midway through the match, and of course there's a chin lock by Miz. And every single time that Sandow The Miz gets hit, Sandow is selling. And every single time that the Miz has a hold on, Sandow is working the hold on the outside. The greatest part is when he had the chin lock on. Sandow's on the floor, has a chin lock on the Invisible Man, and he's jaw-jacking him just like the Miz is. And he's throwing punches, and he's throwing kicks, and he's selling the back when Sheamus hits the Miz in the ring. I love this. I love every second of this, and I want to see much more of it. Let's talk about the actual match here. Chin lock, punches the way out, whip in, reverse. And, of course, it stops with Sheamus' offense. Axe handle, charging shoulder in the corner. High knee, and, of course, he goes for the charging knee, and he gets stopped when Sheamus goes knee first into the buckle. Boot to the knee, ground DDT, 1-2, and Sheamus kicks out. So, 6 slaps. Say that 5 times. 6 slaps. Basically just serve to tick off Sheamus and ignite that Irish blood he has. Gut shot, and he stops a kick, and he basically picks him up by his foot, pushes him up and over the top rope to the floor, and he starts clutching his foot, and Sandow, of course, doing the exact same thing, which is awesome. So, this is actually a great finish. I really enjoy what happens here. So, Sheamus drags the Miz, ducks Sandow's clothesline, and Miz and Sandow are trying to go underneath the ring. Well, the Miz gets under the ring, Sandow comes back from under the ring, goes for a clothesline on Sheamus, Sheamus ducks it, hits the brogue kick, leaves Sandow laying. When Sandow gets hit with a brogue kick, you see Miz out of the corner of your eye getting back into the ring from underneath the ring and beating the 10 count. So the Miz outsmarted Sheamus and won the match. Miz was celebrating, Sheamus decided he wanted to chase him in the back, and that's exactly what happened. So I like this feud the way it's going, and I think it works quite well. So, no problems with Sandow and the Miz working together, and I want to see much more of it, to be honest. So, obviously, that toolbox Todd Chrisley's in the crowd, and that's where he stays, which is good. No need to talk about him. Hopefully his 15 minutes is about up. So we get a Total Divas segment in the back. It is Brie, Natty, Rosa, and Naomi, and talking to Nene Leakes. The only reason I know Nene Leakes is not because of the Real Housewife of Who Gives a Crap. I know her from Celebrity Apprentice, and I was very happy when she got fired. Cameron and Summer Rae and Nikki show up, and Cameron gets in a jaw-jacking battle with Nene, which, if you watch The Apprentice, you know you just don't do that. And, of course, that's going to lead to a match, and it's exactly what happens next. It is a 6-diva tag match. Cameron, Summer Rae, and Nikki taking on Brie, Natalya, and Naomi. Yeah. We pick it up from the tag to Brie facing off against Summer Rae. Clothesline and a knee, whip in reverse, and ducks her head down, gets kicked in the chest. Summer tries to roll her up, 1-2, and a kick out. Drop kick, running knee from Brie, and Cameron makes a save. Naomi goes to toss Cameron. Cameron reverses momentum, sends Naomi to the floor. Natty and Cameron go to the floor. They basically get a cat fight to the outside, and a jawbreaker from Summer Rae on the Brie. Tagging to Nikki comes in with authority and grabs the hair, turns into the rack attack. Brie floats over, lands on her feet, and ducks the clothesline, and Bella Factor connects 1, 2, 3, and Brie wins. Hopefully this is the end of the Bella feud. I really hope it does end right here, because it makes perfect sense it did. I know they need to have one more blow-off match with Brie goes over, but still, I really want this to end so the Bellas can go back to what they were doing. I don't like them split up. They are the Bella twins for a reason, and I think they're much more unique as a twin tag team than they are as two singles competitors. No offense to either one of them, but I think there's much more money to be made as them together without them feuding. So, yeah. We get John Cena in the back, and John Cena says, Ambrose may be a loose cannon, the nice reference to Brian Pillman, how appropriate there, but he is the only one that will stand toe-to-toe with John Cena. Tonight you will see the brightest star in the WWE Universe go face-to-face with the guy who runs this place. We get a really awesome cryptic promo from Bray Wyatt saying that he's coming back. And, of course, Michael Cole just craps the bed right away and blows every sort of momentum he has with that promo with calling him Bray Harper. Yay. Yay for Michael Cole. So, yeah, the Wyatts are returning not together, but separately, and they're all going to be sicked on the world at once. So it should be really fun to see what happens to this. I'm interested to see what they do with Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, and Bray Wyatt in singles careers. Obviously, Bray Wyatt has already had one, but he kind of got messed over a bit. So, a rebirth of the Bray Wyatt gimmick and whatever they're doing with this It's Coming and the pregnant belly, I'm interested to see what we have with that. It'd be awesome to bring in Kevin Steen that way, but I think that they need something else with that. But, yeah, I really think this may lead to somebody else in the Wyatt family, potentially. This could lead to a new person debuting with the company, whether we're going to finally see Sister Abigail, or maybe the matriarch or the patriarch of the Wyatt family itself. Because obviously someone's giving Bray all the advice throughout the years. Interesting to see exactly who that person is. So we get our main event, and it is like 4 minutes before the top of the hour. Of course, there's going to be an overrun, but still, it's 4 minutes for the top of the hour. And Triple H and Stephanie come out. And here comes John Cena and Dean Ambrose. They both come out. Here comes Seth Rollins. And then Randy Orton. And then Kane. So, of course, no holds barred means, obviously, at all costs, protect the Golden Boy. So, we pick it up midway through this match. And Ambrose climbs up. Cena catches him on his shoulders, falls back. Cena climbs up, he gets pulled down by Ambrose. Cena goes to the AA, and he lands on his feet. Ambrose rocks back into the Jawbreaker lariat to Cena. Cena catches him with a drop toe hold, turns it into the STF, and that was countered out of him going for legitimate dirty deeds here. Not what Ambrose double arm DDT was actually being called by Michael Cole. Come up with a new name for it, guys. Seriously, don't use the same name for two. It's like when, oh my god, it's like when the zigzag was that Michael Cole called it the famouser, or the name dropper in this case. I like it the name dropper better. I think it fits the show off name. No offense to Billy Gunn. I think it actually fits to call it a name dropper instead of a famouser. Especially because it's Dolph Ziggler's version of the move. But anyway, I'll go down off my soapbox. So Ambrose, of course, breaks the hold with biting the hand that chokes him. Yes, yeah, he bit John Cena's fingers. So, nice front drop kick sends Cena to the floor. Tope sends him face first to the ring steps. Cena decides to turn it back on him, sends Ambrose face first to the steps. A gut shot, and he sends him face first to the steps. Whip in reverse, Cena goes into the barricade, and Randy Orton gets up in Ambrose's face. And a right hand just shoots off on Randy Orton, and of course this is stopped by Cena nailing him from behind. Orton, Kane, and Rollins are distracting. And at this point, Rollins is saying, "Come on, John!" Just like, Cena's in with the authority. Yeah, I know, it'll never happen. But still. So, Cena sends Ambrose into the authority again. So, all of them are down, except for, of course, Triple H and Stephanie, because they're watching this. Orton comes into the ring itself, starts stomping away on Ambrose. It'll start stomping away on Cena, and Dean double legs him, and Rollins and Kane come in, so Ambrose ends up tossing Rollins. He hates the guy, but all he did was toss him to the floor. Priorities, Dean, priorities. Kane goes for the choke slam on Ambrose. Ambrose lands on his feet, and he gets stopped by an AA from John Cena onto Kane, and while the AA is being done, you see Ambrose out of the corner of your eye dart up to the top rope, and he's on the top rope, clutching at the Money in the Bank contract, excuse me, not the Money in the Bank contract, but the contract for the Hell in a Cell match against Mr. Money in the Bank. That's what I was supposed to say. And he looks at Cena, goes, "You can't see me," and he grabs the contract. So Dean Ambrose officially is going to go on to face Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell at Hell in a Cell, which I'm really, really excited for. It's going to be an awesome match. Rollins is on the ropes. Orton is standing on the ring, Rollins on the ramp, actually, at the top of the ramp. Orton is standing on the ring apron, and he drops down, and that's how we end Raw. So, for those of you that think that the match was too short, it really wasn't much going on, it's called, you have to build anticipation. This makes complete sense for me, because if they're going to do a legitimate John Cena-Dean Ambrose feud, whether now or later, they're going to have to build anticipation for what you want to see. And you're going to want to see 15-20 minutes at least between these two just beating the daylights out of each other. And if you give that away on free television, what have you done? Obviously, the point is to build the pay-per-views, even though most of us now have spent $10 and get 6 months of pay-per-views, and, oh, I'm sorry, $9.99, and get 6 months of pay-per-views for our dollar, and we already got your money, so we don't care what we give you. So, a lot of people think that way, but I think it makes perfect sense to, basically leave the fans wanting more, and that's exactly what they did with this Raw. They left the fans wanting more. John Cena and Dean Ambrose, the people that don't are probably people that were not invested in this feud in the first place. And this leads to potential Randy Orton face turn. This leads to who's going to get their hands on Seth Rollins first or last, depending on at this point. Where's Kane foot in all this? Who knows? Who cares? Honestly. But yeah, let's talk about what I recommend on this show. I would definitely recommend the John Cena and Dean Ambrose against Goldust, Stardust, and the Usos. I thought that was a fun match. I actually liked the double finishing sequence. I thought that worked pretty well. Dolph Ziggler and Randy Orton put on a clinic, very enjoyable match. Seth Rollins and Jack Swagger put on a great match. I mean, we didn't really have many matches on the show, but they were pretty choice. Rusev and Big Show, let's hope this moves on, and we move on to Rusev and feuding with someone else. Big Show and Mark Henry facing off, and they feud. I think what ends up happening, Rusev and Big Show have one more match at Hell in a Cell. Mark Henry costs them the match, and we get Mark Henry and Big Show. That's going to end the rest of the year and take us into the Royal Rumble. That's what I think we'll probably end up getting. Sheamus and The Miz, good for what it was. I've seen better matches between the two, but the star of this match was Damian Sandow on the floor, basically working the Invisible Man. Totally enjoyed that. Going to be a lot of money to be made when Miz and Sandow have their explosion and they finally start feuding. I'm really going to enjoy that. I'm really going to enjoy when they get the U.S. title off Sheamus because he doesn't need it. I'm sorry, he's not relevant at all right now. Sheamus hasn't been for quite a while. Total Divas segment, don't care. John Cena and Dean Ambrose, it was okay for what it was, but I mean, like I said, it's basically just whetting the appetite for wanting to see more. So yeah, that was Raw from last night, and like I said, this is your Tuesday video, so I don't know what's going to happen with Impact right now. I need to watch Bound for Glory later today, and I need to watch Impact and try to do that video for Wednesday or Thursday. Obviously, Wednesday I actually have to work, and Thursday night we actually have a full dance card. I got to work, Long John Silver's, and of course we are going to be watching Fury and the Book of Life. So that's actually AJ's official birthday, so we're going to be celebrating AJ's birthday, watching Fury and the Book of Life. Next morning, Best of Me, and hopefully Birdman and Men, Women, and Children's coming soon. We're going to be going to Athens on Sunday again for Mulholland Drive. So, ending the last David Lynch movie in Athena Cinema. So, Ashley should be returning soon, and more content. Obviously, a brand new Versus coming out through the depths of hell on Sunday. And AJ's movie reviews coming up on Friday. So you will be talking about Fury, Book of Life, Best of Me, as well as what we saw on Sunday, The Skeleton Twins and Love is Strange. And it sounds like Wish You Were Here, the new Zach Braff flick, is going to probably be the 6th movie on that video. So that's coming. And we will be talking wrestling yet again later this week. So TNA fans, hopefully will be joining you tomorrow and Thursday for Impact, or one of those 2 days, talking Bound for Glory. And WWE fans, I will join you on Monday and Tuesday for Impact, NXT and SmackDown on Monday, and Raw on Tuesday. So, in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, help spread the word about Pop. If you have a wrestling fan you know and you want to see a different version of a recap than what you're used to seeing, if you want to hear what people really think, and you want to actually get blow by blow for the matchups, then send them my way. So obviously, I'd love to have people check out my unique view, because as far as I know, I'm one of the only recappers, at least on YouTube, that I'm aware of that actually does this. So the reason why I do it, obviously, because it makes me unique, number one, and number two, I love calling the matches. It brings back my commentary days that I really wish would come back. So, as always, if you like these videos, you can show your support via our Facebook fan page. It is Sir Owen Disney Pop on Facebook. If you'd like to send me a friend request on Facebook, it is Owen Disney. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at Sir Owen Disney. And last but certainly not least, you want to talk wrestling with me, you want to talk Universal, Disney, Halloween Horror Nights, you want to talk movies with me, my Oscar predictions, you want to talk about that, ask me questions that I can't answer on here for good reason, or if you'd like to become a podcaster yourself, you can send your content and your contributions to SirOwenDisney@gmail.com. So in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.